All right, everybody. Hello. Okay. Can everyone hear me? All right. I'm having some issues with changing my camera from front to back, and I apologize about that. Give me 1 second and I will get everything set up. We're going to get started in 1 second just so I can get everyone added on to our video today. All right. I am so sorry about my camera issue at the moment. I'm not doing okay. Okay. All right, everybody. Hope everybody's having a good night. We're going to get started here, and I'll get talking a little bit about what you can do this winter to make sure you have the best off season that you can. So I'm going to make this a relatively quick video for all parties. Some of my other ones have been a little bit longer, but I want to make sure that we just get a couple tips out to all of you so you can be as efficient as possible. So our number one tip for this winter would be to learn to move your body well in every direction. So I think this is commonly missed by most people. One really important thing to make sure you do is make sure you can squat, lunge, push up, pull up, side lunge. Don't miss a direction. If you're a female, maybe you can't get a full pull up. That's really common for females, and that's totally okay. Maybe you're a guy and you struggle with pull ups too. Maybe this is your time to take a look at moving your own body weight in a direction that isn't pushing, right? So upper body and lower body health is important, and moving your body weight is a great way to start that process. There's no weights necessary. So I know getting to a gym is crazy during these COVID times, but maybe it's a really good option to just start with how can I move my body weight? And there's a lot of different exercises that you can look up either online or even feel free and message me that we could go over that might even be a progression for you to get into those things. If you excel at moving your body weight, then make sure you add weight to it, right? So maybe you add weights to your push-ups or get into something like bench press. If you're lunging, it's as simple as picking up some dumbbells. Maybe they're 1 pound, 2 pound, 3 pound, 5 pound, 10 pound dumbbells. Nothing crazy, right? But progress up to adding some resistance to what you do. It's really great for you. Number 2, make sure that you don't lose your aerobic capacity. So this goes for all sports. Maybe you're a cyclist, maybe you're a runner, but maybe you're an offensive lineman playing high school football. Make sure you are able to do things for a long time. You work all year from spring to winter, getting ready for whatever season you might be doing. And when the weather's better, you're outside and you're doing things for some really extended period of time. That's going to build up a really good aerobic capacity. That's your base level ability to do a lot of work. Work in general. Is that pushing people around? Is that climbing up a hill on a bike? Is that racing your friends on a flat on a bike? You need to make sure that you have a big aerobic capacity. So that means spend some time doing something relatively low energy, but for a long time. So maybe it's going out for a light jog for, 30 minutes to an hour, or building up to that, right? Maybe it's going on your longer bike rides and bundling up, or maybe it's sitting on the spin bike, but for a longer period of time, not just one of those 10-minute hit workouts, right? We need to make sure we don't lose the aerobic capacity that you built while the weather was nice outside. Number 3, identify a weakness and attack it. There's a lot of different weaknesses that can be established in fitness, whether that's a strength issue, whether that's a mobility issue, maybe it's a flexibility issue, maybe it's a nagging pain that you've had for years, and now's the time to take care of it so you can get your fitness up to the next level. Winter's the time to do this. Life slows down just a little bit after the holiday season for most people. It's time for you to take care of things so that you can have a better spring and summer when things get nicer outside. Don't let this time go to waste, because maybe you let other things occupy your life, but if you spend even just a little time addressing some of these weaknesses, you can get way better when you kick into like a full season. Maybe that's a spring sports season. Maybe it's not even until next fall. Maybe it's soccer, right? Or maybe it's summertime and you want to be able to swim or do triathlons. These would be a great time to attack all of those different weaknesses, not just stack on to what you're already particularly good at. Number 4, this is one that you hear all too often, but I got to say it because it's so important. Stop skipping leg day, everybody. Make sure you do something for your legs. Strength training for your legs, right? And I do promise that yoga class is not adequate for your strength training. You need to do something only twice a week. Pick one exercise. My favorite is lunges. I like them a lot because you can hit just about everything you need to hit in one exercise. Once you get good at them, add weights to it. You can work on reverse lunges, forward lunges, walking lunges are really awesome. And they apply to just about any sport that you can do, at least in one way, shape, or form. They're also good at keeping your mobility, right? But first thing you got to do is stop skipping working out your legs. All right. It's really easy to, stick to a couple bicep curls, a little bit of shoulder pressing, maybe some side raises, right? Maybe some lat pull downs. Those are all things that are really easy to do. And it's also really easy to, if you're a cyclist, just sit on your bike all day long. But you want to make sure you spend a little bit of time every week, even if it's just one exercise that you add to your regimen, working on something for your leg strength. All right. If I had to get real nitpicky, do something particularly heavy, something that would be hard for you to do more than 5 reps on each leg, right? Do that for 3 to 5 sets and then call it a day. If that's all you did, I'd be a happy camper for you, and you would be shocked at the difference that you will make in about a 4 to 6 week period. That's how long it takes to notice something. And then once you notice something, you're not going to want to stop. Also, the soreness that you get from working out will start to subside around that point as well. Number 5, start slow. I know this is a bit of a personal anecdote, but 2 years ago, I was really gung-ho to go into the winter. And I said, I'm going to train really hard this winter and I'm going to become a much better cyclist. And I want to jump up to a faster group ride group, right? So, first thing hit, it got cold in November, and I'm like, I'm going to have 2 interval workouts a week. And by the end of January, I was just burnt out. I entirely burned out. I left nothing left in the tank to make it through the rest of the winter. Make sure you start slow. There's so much time to get everything done, and slowly building is what you can do. You got to make a digestible plan that starts with starting slow and builds up. You want to ramp up to the activities you're looking for. Maybe it's 6 months out. Maybe it's 2 months out, right? But during that time, you got to make sure that you start slow and don't accelerate too fast. You're probably going to wear yourself out a bit. Number 2, keep an eye on your number two, number six, keep an eye on your nutrition. So, I don't know about you guys, but for myself and a lot of patients I deal with, everyone's talks about during the holiday season, it's easy to put on a couple pounds. And I'm going to ask you to give yourself an allowance during this time, right? There's a little bit of partying. There's a little bit of food that's enjoyment and comfort food and time with your family, friends, whoever you like to be with. Don't beat yourself up too bad. But during this time, don't let your nutrition get away from you, right? Make sure it coincides with your training. Maybe you are someone who your mileage or your workouts or the amount of games and practices you have decreases during the season. Understand that you don't need to take in as many calories if that is the case. Maybe this is a time that you ramp up. Maybe you're spending more time on an indoor trainer, or you're spending more time strength training as an athlete who plays high school sports, right? You might need to add calories to do that. But you want to make sure that you keep an eye on what you're doing during this time and what you're putting into your body. Maybe it's a time that you actually have time to focus on it for the first time. To go along with that, you also have to stop trying to out exercise your diet. It's very common that, people try and do something to their body during the winter for beach season, right? Or maybe it's, I'm going to get in shape so during the spring when, we're not bundled up in all sorts of coats and everything, that you're able to wear that dress that you wanted to fit into. Or for a guy, you have to fit into, a tuxedo for this wedding coming up. If you try and out exercise your diet, there's a very high likelihood you're going to come up with an injury, because you cannot do more work to lose weight than you put in with food. Calories in, calories out. That's what it is. So if you are trying to lose weight, which is a very common goal for people who are exercising, make sure that starts with your nutrition. And then from there, your exercise regimen plays in with it, not the exercise regimen being your number one thing. It's very, 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 very easy to be chasing that goal of losing weight and then wind up overdoing it and not creating a sustainable wellness plan, right? Not a short-term, I'm on a diet. My last tip for you for this winter is going to be to focus on form. And this goes for just about any kind of sport or activity that you might be getting into. Maybe it's weightlifting. Well, you're not competing during this time. You're not going to football games. You don't have soccer games. Maybe you do, right? But this is not the main season for that. Let's focus on your form. Let's make sure we clean all that up. Let's make sure it's better. And this will be part of the starting slow, right? Focus on your form so that you can build as the winter season progresses and wind up getting stronger. I promise that'll be a good start for you. Maybe you're a cyclist or a runner. Maybe it's time to get on the rollers and make sure you're not rocking on that seat anymore, right? Maybe it's time while you're doing your interval training that you take a look at your pedal stroke and make sure that it's very clean. Maybe you're stomping down on the pedals as you go, and that's a really good way to put that power down. Maybe you're a runner. Maybe you need to make sure that you don't start breathing up through your neck when you're running up a hill and you start to get really tired. These are little things that you can start to focus on while you're in this off season. You want to make sure you take a look at that form and prioritize it, especially early on during this winter time. Maybe you're ramping down on miles. Maybe you can spend your mental effort on a few other things. So I know this was about 15 minutes of content, and I don't want to add a ton more to it. I'm going to open things up to the live chat now and let anybody ask any questions. I'm going to apologize ahead of time that I have to flip my camera around, so I'll be able to add audio here, but my video is going to turn into the ceiling for a second. So I do apologize for that. I want to thank everybody for joining in, and please ask me any questions or things that I can elaborate on. Would be great for you to chime in. And we will have a minute or two of radio silence because sometimes the live chat is a second or two delayed. All right, I'm going to give everybody just another minute. If there's any comments that you want to type in for me, I'd greatly appreciate it. And then I'll sign off coming up in a minute and send you off for the night. So make sure you get any of those in. All right, folks. I am not getting any live chats in from my end. So I do want to thank you all for your time. And I hope that these tips carry you through the winter particularly well. So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me via Facebook, email, or our website. And I'm looking forward to talking to any of you who have questions for me. So I hope you have a great rest of your night, and I'll see you all later. Bye. Thanks a lot.